Okay, quickly. Well, the WikiLeaks thing obviously is a ploy and a step towards trying to destroy the Internet. But when you go back to it and look at it from its broadest perspectives, number one, you have to wonder about this Assange character, where he came from, who are his ties. The thing that really gets me is that WikiLeaks is on Pirate Bay, P2P services out of Stockholm, Sweden, which is owned by Carl Lindstrom, a self-professed Swedish neo-Nazi. So, wait a minute, is this all, again, another false flag thing? They've admitted that none of the information that has been made public through WikiLeaks has actually done any harm. It's just kind of embarrassed to these governments, okay? So it's kind of like a limited hangout to get everybody upset. And now you have idiots that are calling for Julian Assange. They're calling for his execution. And here's the thing. Years ago, if the playing field was level, as we've all been taught, and government's in its place to serve and protect us, and God's in the heaven and is all right with the world, well then, I would tend to say, yeah, that's kind of bad, releasing out secrets from the government. But when you go back and see that the government has been caught lying to us, not once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, on and on and on, all they do is lie to us, then I'm sorry, anyone who tries to bring out truth, good, bad, or indifferent, we should be supporting that rather than condemning it. But I think it's simply, considering the connection, it's just simply a ploy to raise up this public indignation.
Well, that's the psychological warfare op.
Exactly.
They make you support Assange, because if you don't support him, they're going to set the precedent to shut down the web and arrest people that are leaked information, like you or I, who've gotten many leaks over the years. But expanding on that, they now admit they're going to use it to start curtailing the web, and the UN has announced that just a few days ago. CTV out of Canada, internet groups fear UN could threaten cyberspace. They want to bring in a new Sedition Act.
You've already got the Cybersecurity Act of 2010 they're trying to push through, which gives the president a kill switch.
Yeah. No, it's very suspect. And Assange admits he's excised stuff at the request of agencies. So I can't sit in judgment of Assange. But the thing doesn't pass the smell test, and everything we predicted with it's now unfolded. Final segment with Jim Marrs, straight ahead. Jim Marrs is our guest. If you want to get his new book, it's a New York Times bestseller, The $1 Trillion Conspiracy. We got it available right now at Infowars.com on the online video bookstore shopping carts. And you may know all about the New World Order and the banking takeover and what's happening. Your friends, your family, your neighbors don't. But I've never seen a time where people are more ready to be awakened. And you're also supporting the alternative press. We were talking about the alternative media. I've seen statistics even from CNN going back about 2 years ago. The alternative media 2 years ago passed the Rubicon and became more influential, more readers, more viewers, and is more trusted, more than 2 to 1, than the mainstream corporate media. So we've got this perfect storm of old media, government, mega corporations, all pushing now to censor the new media. They're scared, but I got news for them, Jim. I want to see if you agree. They're not putting the genie back in the bottle. They're not, the cat's out of the bag. The people have had a taste of real, news. It's over.
I totally agree. And with the internet, for example, it's global. They could try to, China is still having all kinds of problems because they've tried to shut it down over there. But when you can put up servers in Sweden and in Russia and bounce it around to South Africa and then come back to India, I think the genie's out of the bottle. And unless there's some way to just, completely turn off all electricity in the world, I don't see how they can shut it down.
China just banned Skype. I mean, how do you ban one of the most popular computer programs out there?
Exactly. But that shows how desperate they're getting. And, of course, they're getting desperate in this country, too. And they even have a worse problem here because they've got to somehow bulldoze their way through Congress and through everything else, through the FCC. And, they've got a lot of control, but they don't have total control. And people are beginning to wise up and realize that.
Well, it's an incredible new book, and congratulations on it being so successful, the $1 trillion conspiracy, how the New World Order, man-made disasters, and zombie banks are destroying America. Again, available at Infowars.com or by calling 888-253-3139. Jim, in just a minute or two, because we're almost out of time, and I appreciate you joining us here, one of the last shows of the year, to give us a synopsis of the book.
Okay, well, it's here's what's wrong with this country, here's who's behind it, and here's what to do about it. In a lot of my past books, Rule of Secrecy, and The Rise of the Fourth Reich, etc., people always said, well, you're always telling us this bad news, what can we do about it? What's the good news? So actually, there's a whole section in the back of my new book, The $1 Trillion Conspiracy, that says here are ways to fix a broken society. And there's a lot, and unfortunately, though, most of them would all come back to either rescinding or passing new legislation, which then brings it back to Congress, which is either bought and paid for or totally intimidated through secret terror. So we've got to do something about shaking up Congress. We thought we had the opportunity this year in the presidential election year elections, but as we can see, the computer voting machines once again seem to have trumped public opinion.
No, things are a lot worse than we can even see on the surface. Folks, if the water looks rough on the surface, imagine what's going on right under the surface. I mean, this is very serious times. Everyone needs to put out their maximum effort to resist the lies, the tyranny, and to offer the solutions of liberty every day. The fight is on, and as we end 2010, going into 2011, these are the times that try men's souls. It was the best of times, the worst of times. A lot of bad things are happening, but it isn't until things get rough that people finally get up off their hind ends. And that's starting to happen. The destiny of our society, of our species, of our children is unfolding right now. Jim Marrs, always wonderful having you on. God bless you. Let me say bye to you here at the end. Lew Rockwell and others coming up at Infowars.com audio stream. Stay with us.